Hey, hello there. Welcome to another class. Let me see if the sound is working fine. YouTube is showing that is excellent. So let's trust it. Let's believe it's true. One sound is working fine. YouTube is showing that is excellent. So let's trust it. Let's believe it's true. Okay, the sound I think is okay. Let me mute this. So today I'll do like a run through like from questions 6 to 10. They are very simple and I think I can just explain how to do it and you can observe the thing. So the first one, the question number 6 is read an integer number and print if it's positive or negative. So we already have some question to read a number. So I will just copy that. So, oops, not there. Here, I say the number here, and I will call the variable number. Once we have the number, it's just a matter to say positive or negative. When the number will be positive? When the number is greater than 0. So then we can print console.writeLine and then positive. Or something like this if you want to. The number is positive if I want to give more message. Based on the requirement, I could just say positive or negative. There is one catch here because the question say print positive or negative. What do you think would happen if I just say something like this? Well, if it's not positive, it's negative, right? So instead of this, I will do negative. That is kind of the danger with coding. Sometimes things make sense, but they are not correct. Because there is positive, there is negative, and there is 0. So actually, if we use this construction, if the number is 0, we will assume that this is false, and we're going to say it's negative. So every case is a case. You have to figure out, based on the question, what you need to do. So in this case, what you do is we have two ifs. If the number is greater, it's positive. If number is smaller than 0, then we print negative. What if it's 0? Well, this is a good question. If it's an interview question, if it's a requirement, clarify. Well, actually you are telling me if it's positive or negative, but nothing else. What if it's 0? Is a question that is nice to ask. In this case, we can assume, no. The person tell us, that the business person, no, it's like this. Only positive or negative. If it's 0, don't do anything. We already deal with this in other points. So sometimes we are working a little piece of a system that we are supposed to do only what is asked. Other thing will be dealt in other place. So in this case is what we're doing. Exactly what is asked. Well, if it's positive, we're going to say positive. If it's negative, we're going to say negative. Pay attention that these two ifs, they are not nested. That was the reason for the question, because we were solving some question that were nested if, else. And you could have the impression, oh, I'm always going to use if, else. We saw in the last question that we have like nested if, but in the method 2, we realized, well, I could just make sure that the first two numbers are in order. And now it's easier because I just need to figure out where the number 3 would go. It's the same thing here. We are doing two ifs that they are not connected. So based on this number, logically, only one of those will be executed. Even being one if here and another if here, we don't need to use else. Of course, we could use else if we test, or if number like is different than 0. Like we could say some, let's just show you. So let me call the like method 1. We could have something like this. Let me call this method 2. I could upfront test is number different than 0. So now I can assume this. If the number is greater than 0, I will print positive. Else, I can just say the number is negative. Let me just do this. But as you can see, we didn't simplify our code. We still have if with else, and this one, in my opinion, is even cleaner. So that's a reason that I will not come with the solution, but it's a possibility. We test, is number different than 0? If is, then I will do this. If not, we do nothing. And here I can assume, because if we got into this if, that means the number is not 0. It's something different. It's positive or negative. And I could test like if is smaller, then I print negative. If it's greater, positive. Remember, this can be multiple different arrangement, then the code still be correct. So just to let you know, we could do something like this. We could test if number is smaller than 0. That means we'll print this, and else we can assume that it's positive. I will comment this code just to keep it there, but to show you that we have to get used to read code, because when we write, we have our style. And now with AI, more than ever, we have to develop the ability to read code in a speed that we never had to do before, because now we are reading way more code than before. Is that why I like to show all those variations? Because for sure, when you use AI, when you are reviewing code from someone else, you will get those variations. And you have to figure out, oh, it's the same. It's like any text. Everyone will write a different way, and they all can be good or bad based on the quality of how they are described things. It's the same thing here. So what you do now, let's go, this is the question 6. Let's go to our entry point, and let's prepare to run the question 6. And let's test. Remember, never ever, even if it's very simple, for sure I do mistakes here. For sure I already did a mistake that I didn't catch it. And I do, and you do as well. So it's very important to have that mentality to test it, to be ready to prove that your code is working fine. We'll learn about this later on, but I want you to feel the pain already. So let's put a breakpoint so you see what is going on. And let's start with 0. So is the number greater than 0? No. Is the number smaller than 0? No. So we do nothing. In this other method, what we do is the number different than 0? No. So we do nothing. So when the 0, we are saying we are printing out, because it's what our business told us to do. Remember, we are not the ones that own how the system should behave or what the system should do. Maybe we can decide something or give some ideas, but at the end of the day, the business has that power. We have to make sure we are following something that is going to give us money, will make our product better, will follow the law and every legislation, everything that has to be there. It's not what we think is good. A lot of mistake I did in my career was when I was, I have the control, I am the one. Many times I was about to do a demo that I thought the user love it, and they said, no, it's not how it's supposed to work, because I didn't have a clear understanding about the problem, about the business, and what the user really needed. I was just excited about, I can do this, I can do that. So this is going to happen with AI as well, because AI is very easy to make demos, to make proof of concept. And for sure, there are a lot of people out there producing those POCs, like proof of concept. And when they're going to face reality, the customer, the market, they're going to fail like badly. So let's run again. And let's put like a negative number. Minus 15. And then the first method we're going to test is greater than 0, no. Is it smaller than 0? Yes. Remember that those two ifs, they are not connected. They are one after the other. I could even have this one before. This order does not matter. And then I will print is negative. Now we go to the method 2. Is different of 0? Yes. Is greater than 0? No. So we can assume it's negative. Boom. And then we run again, and let's put a positive number, 150. Same thing here. Is greater than 0? Yes. We'll print. Is it smaller? No. Is different than 0? Yes. Is greater? Yes. So we print it, and you do nothing. We end our problem. Cool. So that was the idea of this problem. It's very simple, but I just want to show you that we don't always need to use else. And it's important to clarify what to do in some case that is not clear in the text. Maybe the business people will be mad if you say, dude, come on, read again. What I'm saying here, I already saw things like this happen. So be ready in your work to be humble and deal with people. That is the hardest part. Can you read English? I already got case like this. Look, I'm saying integer number and print if it's positive or negative. You are asking me about 0. Did I mention 0? You say, okay, no, thank you, but I feel good that I clarified it. So there is all kind of like other people can say, oh, congratulations, you did a good job. Thank you for asking, but yeah, in this case, I need this. Or in some cases, say, oh yes, I forgot with the 0, please print 0, do this. There is all kind of thing. It's a very funny interest area. This one. So, okay, let's save this now and let's go to the next one. I will have some class later on that I will talk about some work experience that I have some very cool stories to share. So now I go to the 7. 7, right? Yes. 7. Read the age and print minor if the age is smaller than 18. So this is even simpler than everything else. But it's just to make sure that, okay, do I understand what is here? Should I clarify? It's just say minor if the age is more than 17. So that means 17 is not a minor. So I have to clarify because in coding, is smaller or equal, make different, create a bug. You can send people to jail if you do a mistake like this. So let's prepare for what the user has to type, console.writeLine, age, or what is your age, like what is your age? And now, age should be integer or float or decimal. Mostly will be integer. In some rare case, maybe we want to show like 1.5 year and thing like that, or maybe year and month, and maybe days, depending of what we do. Sometimes age is just in days, or we just have the birthday date and then you calculate it. In this case, let's just put an integer, and we need to get from the keyboard. So we have to parse all this. You already know. Console.readLine, and make sure that you deal with the no. Now that we have the age, what we do? Oh, if age is smaller than 18, or I could say smaller or equal than 18, or 17, okay? I like to use whatever they put here because it's easier to test. So if age is smaller than 18, we'll print console.writeLine you are a minor. And nothing else, because nothing was asking this question. I have to fix my, oh, sorry, I was still running the previous one. I have to fix my entry point to run the question number 7. And now we can test. Let me put a breakpoint here. This is a very easy one to test, even easier than the other question that we did. So now let's type my, oh, I put like a right line here. So do you see that the cursor in the next line? And what usually we want in this case is just to be in the same line. So look what is going to change. When I do this, I don't need to look to the next line. It is right here. So I put my age, 54. Oh. Is 54 is more than 18? No, so it's false. So it's very important to be smart with the test. So let's test with 18, because this is important information here. We have to test. So it has to be smaller than 18. That means that 18 is not a minor. Now we run. And we can like 15. We do this, is a minor. And then there is something else that is not clear here. You could ask in an interview, what happens if the user type a negative age? Here, we're gonna say, like, if we run it and put like minus 54, is smaller than 18. But in theory, there is no negative age. However, what happened in real life is sometimes the business person assume that engineer is good enough to figure out, or I should do something here like this. We will learn a better way to do with this, but we could say if age is smaller or maybe equal, no one has age 0, we could say console dot right line invalid age. Age has to be a positive value. I will copy this here as just the method 1, because this is ability that, let me call method 1, that every good engineer has to acquire. This is different from a junior to a senior to a principal. Maybe a junior could write the code like this. Junior. If I am a senior, a principal, a staff, whatever, probably I will be asked to do something like this. Let me do this here. And then let me put like a, oops, like this, just to show that is a joke. And here will be senior plus. Yeah, let me put the same. So I want you to understand the difference from those two. The first one, I'm blindly reading the age and just print. So if you read something like this and you put in your system, you can prove later on, oh, I'm doing what I was told to do. But then your manager can come to you and say, come on, Jose, you are a principal engineer. How come you didn't figure out or ask that age could not be negative? So I saw that happen already. I already had something that I was ashamed. Say, oh, come on, how I have all this year of experience, and then I miss something like this. Is that why we need to test? We need to clarify. This is going to happen every day. So don't be mad. The best way to do it is use time to make sure you understand how the business expects. It's like, this is a mistake I already did. I got a system that I have to put a field for email. And the requirements say email is required. So I just test if there is a value for email. But then there is rules for email. Has to be at least 2 or 3 letters, has to have a at and then something dot something. There is some definition, specification for email. And I didn't do a proper email validation. And when the tester came, said, oh, look, I can put anything here. I can just put like test, and then it's going to pass this email. And you know that it's not a real email. So that is something that we should be paying attention. Is that why software has so many bugs? Because there is so many things that can be wrong, and you have to pay attention to all those. So in this case, if you are interviewing 2 candidates, the first one come with the solution. The second one, during the interview, ask you, oh, what should I do if the age is negative or 0? So probably this one, you get the offer. Of course, there is some other thing. If this one do right, but is not a nice person, is like too proud and all that, is hard to talk and all that. So there is other, attributes that company look in a candidate. But this is one of them, that we pay attention to the requirement and how that can be translated to real world scenarios. Cool. So now this is the question 7. Did we change to 7? Yes, we did. So let's put a breakpoint and let's run now. Oh, and actually this is method 2. So if I put now minus 56, this one is just say is a minor, but this other one you say invalid age. Age has to be a positive number. And then you can tell me which, if you're paying for someone to work for you, which one would you prefer? Jose, I'm learning with your video and I think your English is very good. How did you learn in the beginning? I feel just listening isn't enough. It would be great if you could make a video for channel about that. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Tobias. Yes. I learned by reading a lot, and I was playing video games online. And I usually play like a tank or a healer that most of people hate to play. So I was always in demand and then joined parties and people was help me and all that. So, and of course, even when I moved to Canada 16 years ago, my English was not good at all. Even today, I feel that there is a lot to improve. My English still is not the same level as Portuguese. But yes, I will make a video about that. But more you do, better you get. And don't be very tough on yourself. Sometimes we think our English sucks, maybe, but as long as you can communicate, as long as you can share your ideas, usually people is very patient. When I moved to Canada and US, only very rare occasion, I felt that someone was like complaining about my English. Happened? Yes. But nothing that is gonna block you to work, to leave. So yeah, I'll make another video. So I hope I can just practically, as more time your mind work in English, we make it easier for you. It is my immersion. If you like playing video games, play like hours, talk with English native person. If you're gonna do English course, like try to think everything you say in Portuguese, try to imagine how you would say in English and talk to yourself before you go to sleep, when you wake up, like make your mind, your brain work in that new language. It's funny because I still think my English is not good. Like I'm out of Brazil for 16 years, but I still speak more Portuguese every day than English. I come home, my wife, my son talk Portuguese, And like my wife is my best friend. I talk to her like at least 2 hours straight every day. We go for 1 hour walk, and then there is everything we do at home. So immersion is very important. If you can get like a girlfriend, boyfriend, or friends from another country and start to do it, is, and if you have the opportunity to live abroad, is the best thing we can do, because then you are immersed there, you are forced to learn. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Tobias, and thank you for asking, thank you for participating. So, okay, I assume that this makes sense. Maybe there is a bug here and there, but I'm fine what we have so far. Let me save here and let's move to the next one. Question number 8. Question number 8, read the age and print minor if the age is smaller than 18 and adult otherwise. So basically, it's the same question. I even going to copy and paste. And actually, as we are aiming to be like senior, let's do like this. Let's go here. I'll paste this guy here. Oh, I forgot the reading. So let's do this. Is that why IDE are so good? Because visually they can tell us, oh, this is missing. So I realized right away, oh, I forgot to copy it. What is your age? We read the age, oh, and usually we do this as a top, right? And then let's keep this. If age is smaller than 0, we're going to print this, because even when our question is not asking about it, if you want to be a better programmer, we have to anticipate that and confirm with business people, oh, do I need to do this? And not say, oh, you didn't ask me. Sometimes there's a bug, the company loses money, you lose time, you have to wake up in the middle of the night to fix something that you could anticipate. So it's always nice to clarify. And now what we're going to change, well, if it is smaller than 18, is a minor, else we'll print adult. And pay attention that I don't know why, adult is like this, capital. Let's put the same. In real, you have to clarify. Oh, and here we did a bug as well, because it said minor like this. Just try to be picky. Cool. And of course, we have to go here and do some testing. Let's change our program to run that question 8. And let's go back here and run. Let's put a breakpoint. Boom. So let's put like 23, my son A. 23 is smaller and equal to 0? No. So we don't get in there. So we keep following. Is it smaller than 18? No. And then we'll print, you are allowed. There is an extra line here. And then let's run again. And let's put 40. Is it smaller than 0? Is smaller or equal than 0? No. Is it smaller than 18? No. So you're going to print, you are allowed. And boom. Cool. Okay. I'm speeding today because I think those are very simple ones and I don't want you to get bored. So now the question is, read the integer number and print if the number is even or odd. So we already have a question to read a number. Let's just copy and paste from there. It's question number 10, right? No, 9. I will change this to number. And now something that we learned before. How do we figure out if a number is even or odd? We already have a question about this. Well, if it's divided by 2, in integer mode is even. If not, is odd. So we just test here if number mod 2 is equal to 0. If that is true, we can assume that the number is even. We can divide them evenly in two parts. That is what even means. Else, we can assume, I don't need to test anything else. Is divided by 2 or not? Else, we will print is odd. Oops, sorry. So looks correct, right? Makes sense. I'm reading a number and I'm trying to divide. So let's see the risk and what can happen when we are doing coding. So let's go to our program and change here to program 9. And why coding is so tricky? So let's put a breakpoint and let's run it. Oops, it's still running the previous one. So I have to change it to program 9. Oh, it's still, I changed to 8 instead of 9. Let's run again. And let's see where we are. So number, let's put 11. So 11 mod 2 is 1. We'll print odd. Let's run again. And then let's put 6. 6 is even. We print even. Now we forgot about this. Let's run and put 0. So what happened? What is the mod by 0 per 2? Is 0. So we're going to say that it's even. I don't remember the formal definition. In this case, we should maybe ask. Let's put Copilot here and ask, is 0 an even number? We don't need to, we're not going to know everything, so we have to. So based on AI, yes, 0 is an even number. It is divided by 2 with no reminder. So makes sense. Follow the description. If you're not happy, you can search in Google, or maybe it's funny because something like this, like there is always sometime a controversy. You may find someone say, no, 0 is exception, 0 is also, there is some, not say that that is the case, but sometimes there is, and it's good to clarify and maybe put a comment. Oh, we are printing here because this reference from math, from this auto, we are putting 0. I already saw some situation what was important for me to put the reference. Oh, I'm following this law, this relation, these rules. That is why I'm doing this way. And later on, when someone was checking, they could see, oh, this is why it was this way. Or I say, oh, I was told by this person based on this. Right? We have a ticket and say, oh, I mentioned the ticket. Cool. So yeah, that was this one. Let's go to the next one. Question number 10. Let's prepare to run the question number 10. Oh, I'm so used to use AI that I don't want to do stuff anymore, just run it. So the question is, read two integer numbers, desired operation, and print a string or a string representing the operation with the result. So just to understand what that means. So something like, we don't need the drawing for this. Let's just do this. I will open an area here. I can even remove this. So that means we're going to provide two numbers. So imagine that number 1 is 5. Number 2 is 4. And the operation is plus. So our result will be something like this. 5 plus 4 equals to 9. Let's say here, example 1. And so on. If you have the same thing here, number 1 is 4, number 1 is 5, and here we have multiply. So here will be multiply, and will be 20, right? Yes. 10, 10, yeah. And so on. So we already have an idea of the question, and sometimes we get, not sometimes, sorry, most of the time, what we get every day is nothing complicated. We can just read it, understand, and start to code. If you're not working some advanced area, coding, trust me, is very easy. It's more like about knowing frameworks, knowing tools, than really processing power. When you're learning a university degree course, like what we need to do there, we're going to learn some stuff here that is way more complicated than what we need to do in everyday work. And you see, and I hope someone can confirm that. So what we need to do here, let's just console dot write line or write number one. Oh, sorry, number one. I didn't specify what type of the number, so in this case, let's use decimal. If it's an interview, it's nice to ask always integer, decimal, float, what should be the best one that you use. So let's call number one. And then this will be a decimal dot parse and console dot read line. Now let me make extra line here. A quick copy and paste, and this number two. Now I need to get the operation. So be something like console dot write line, and I say operation. And I can tell what kind of operation I'm expecting. Let's put this here, because it has to be one of those. And I know that it's going to be a string or a char. No, so let's keep string for now. Operation. And we receive console dot read line. And let's do this. So, okay, now we need to figure out what kind of operation we need. And we need to figure out what was the operation that the user gave us. So it will be here. So what we need to do is, if we're going to declare a variable that will be a decimal as well, called result. And then we're going to test, is our operation add the operation that the user type was the plus sign? If that is true, the result will be number one plus number two. Else, we can test else if our operation. Actually, we can do something different here. Instead of all this, let's just do this. And we're going to improve this code later on. Okay? If operation equals to minus, that means our result will be number one minus number two. If operation equals to multiplication, star, you know that multiplication, result we receive number one multiplied by number two. If operation equals to division, result, we result number one divided by number two. However, we have something here to take care. Remember? No, not this case, because number is a decimal. Cool. So now that we have result, we can come here and compose our result. Will be right line and was asked to show this way. So we will do a string interpolation. That will be number one. Then a space, whatever operation the user type. Then number two. Then equals, and then the result. What is wrong with result here? Oh, it just say that result is not assigned because there is a bunch of if here and there is a chance that none of them will be true. So just to fix this, I will start with 0. Just to let this go, okay? I will put a breakpoint and let's understand what we're doing so far and what we need to improve and fix it. Did I change our entry point? I probably not. Let's go here. Oh, no, I did. So let's run it. Let's just, oh, I did something ugly here. I forgot to add 2 dot space here to make a better visual. So let's put 5 and then 7. And then the operation plus. Is the operation plus? Yes. So the result will be this. Result will be number 1 plus number 2 will be 12. Operation will be this, no. Operation will be this, no. Look that you are testing all the other operation, even when you already know that if one of them, if the operation is plus, we should not be checking anymore. So that is something that is a good thing to improve. And then we're going to print it. So we already realized that, oh, like, okay, let's do something here to improve our code. Let's test if operation is not equals to plus or operation. Well, actually, let's think here what we should test. We just want to go inside here if the operation is equal for one of those. So what we could do is if operation is equal to plus or operation is equals to minus or operation is equals to star or operation is equals to division. So if this is true, then I will do the thing here. So what I'm doing is I'm protecting all this code to only go in, and I like to write those expressions like this because the operation has to be equals to plus or equals to minus or equals to, remember that all or just one need to be true, so the all expression is true. And now I don't need to have those if in sequence. I can put them nested ifs because I only going to check for the next operation if it's not the current one. And if it's not addition, subtraction, multiplication, I can assume that is division. I hope it's clear. We could let the code the way it was before. It is not a scene, but we should always try to use logic. And here in the else, what we could do, we could print a message because now we are aiming to be like a staff senior engineer initially. Something like invalid operation. And then we can even do interpolation here and show whatever or something like this. The operation is invalid. So wherever the user type there, if they put a different symbol, we're gonna tell, well, I can't process this operation because I can only do those 4. This is the kind of thing that I of course, it's not exactly this one, but I saw people doing interview and say, oh, I nailed it. But maybe just did this part. Forgot to do something when there's an invalid one. So there is all kind of different thing that has to be taken into consideration. So let's put a breakpoint there. Let's put a breakpoint here, be better visually, and then let's run. Now let's test, for example, 10, 3, and division. We'll come here, result will be 0. We're gonna check, is one of those operations? Yes. We're gonna go in, it's not plus, it's not subtraction, multiplication. So we go to division. We have that, and then we'll print the result. And we already learned that here we can do some formatting. So let's put like 4 decimals. So we don't see this great thing here. If we run again, and we put like 100 divided by 3, divided. What do you see? Let's wait it run. Oh, I put minus, not divide, sorry. So there is something wrong already that we did here, because look, we put 103 and our result was 0. So we found a bug, and this interesting because I was trying to test division and not that. So let's see here what we did wrong. We put number 1 minus number 1. So of course I did on purpose. No, I missed it. Is that why you have to test and test each one of your line of code? Because everything else was right, but not this one. And I got this by accident. And my user will find it and say, oh, what the heck? What calculator is this one that I subtract 100 by 3 and then I get 0? So we just built a small calculator. And that was a good lesson, how important is to test. So let's test again, 100, 3, and then minus. Let's go here, boom, boom, boom. And every time you find a bug, try to spot some other bugs the same, because the same way I type number one, I'm checking, oh, did I do the same mistake in other lines? So you save like cycles to fix the bugs. And then we found the result, and then 97. Now let's test that division case. Run it, and then 100 divided by 3. Divide it. So the operation is a valid one, is not subtraction, and not this. We go to division, we calculate it, and now we print it, 33, okay? So I'm assuming that everything is cool. We may run again. Let's run without the bug, just to make it faster. Like 45, 15, and plus 6. Now let's run again, and let's try this. 10, 0, and division. Let me put a break. Oh, I put a breakpoint right now. Yes. So let's see what happened. It's there. We go here. We test this case. We test this. We test this. And then we're going to try to divide. And then boom, our program breaks. Because we get this exception that we'll learn how to do it, what exception is, how to do with it later on. But in this case, what we could do to avoid this? Well, if the operation is division, we should test if number 2 is equal to 0. We could say something like console.writeLine invalid operation. Operation. We can't divide by 0. There is a controversy that is possible, is infinite and all that, but in this case, let's just say this. We're going to print this. We'll learn how to deal with this later on, because this is interesting. What happened is, we are in this else, so we'll skip this. Oh, sorry. If the number is equal to this, we'll skip this, and else we do the division. So that means if it's division, we only go into the division. We could even do some different. I could say if it's different than 0, do the division. Else, just print this. And now let's see how a change here can affect our code, and if we can or you should do something else. Look, I run my code. I put a breakpoint right here to make our life easy. Let's put 10 and 0 again. Oh, and division. Let's go here. So what happened? Is the number 2 different than 0? No. So then we'll print this. However, look, we are inside this if, and then we go back here, and we're going to try to print it. And the user can be confused. Say, oh, 10 divided by 0 is 0. And imagine that we want to say, okay, if the user, even if you say this here, you may be confusing your user. So what you could do is, okay, let's protect this, where we only going to print this if, like, let's first understand the expression. If operation is a division and the number 2 is equal to 0. This is what we don't want to do. So what we can do, say like this, not. And then, of course, we make all this 1. So what we're doing here is, if operation is equals to division and number is equals to 0, this will be true. But then I say, if it's not this case, we'll print it. So we only going to print this line if it's a valid operation. In this case, if it's not division and number is equals to 0. Let's check this case to see if clarify, and if it's confused, you can always change this. Okay, let's go here. Let's put like 10 and then 0. Can you see that now coding start to even be simple? We still have to pay attention to some details that maybe we didn't thought before. There. So what happened? This will jump here. In here, we are saying, okay, I cannot do the division, so I will print this invalid operation. And now what I do in here, I check again and only print if this is false. Oh, if this is true, because then I will negate it. So as we can see, we have that test in 2 places. Cool. We could organize this code a little bit better. For example, what we could do here, we could not print this. And what we could do here is, I hope I'm not confusing you, but something like this. Look. If operation is division and number is 0, then we print this. Else, then we print the thing. So what we did now is we move that logic to print to the right place. Instead of just print the result, we only going to print if it's not this case. So if operation is division and number is 0, I know that we could not do, so I'm going to show this message. If not, then I will print it. So let's keep the breakpoint there and see what happened. Let's run again. This is one way to organize the code. There is different ways. So let's put here like 5, 0, and division. We go here, then we land here. We know that it's division because it's not plus, minus, multiplication, or star. So we don't try to do it, otherwise we're going to break our code. Then we'll go to the end of this if, that is right here. And now, instead of just print the result, we're going to test. If operation is division and number 2 is 0, instead of print the result, we'll do this. In value operation, we can divide by 0. And then we don't do anything else because this is an else. We jump it. Just to make sure we didn't break anything, let's do this. Let's now put a good division. 100 divide by 3 and division. Let's go here. Where we are. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. We are here. We do the division because the number 2 is not 0, it's 3. Then we end this if, and the next we test, is division and the number 2 is 0? No. So we're just going to print the result. So it's very common that we build our solution and we refine it. We call refactoring. We make it better. We organize. It's like writing a text or a book or a paragraph. No one ever in our history just wrote the final text in the first attempt. No one. Well, maybe the 10th comment, just joking, because it was God that said, so probably he didn't do any mistake, but maybe Moses, that when it was like, get it, who did something wrong, has to do it. So, kind of a joke here. So what I'm trying to tell you is that coding is like any other texting that you are producing. You are writing a language, and it's very rare that we get right the first attempt. We kind of refine. We put, of course, when you're going to write something, you already have an idea. You never go, oh, let me write a book. Let's start to write, oh, what is the book about? No, you have an idea. I want to write a book about this, that. It's the same with the code. We have to spend some time to understand the problem, the solution. Then we can think. And later on, I don't know if you are feeling the same, but I had a lot of trouble. Oh, my code is here. But when I look to my code, I don't know exactly what it's doing just by looking. It's like a book. When you look to a page of the book, you don't know what the page is saying until you read it. The same thing with code. You're never going to look the code and know exactly. You have to go there and go line by line, understand. So don't feel bad if you see a solution or even a solution that you wrote weeks ago and you look to the solution, oh, let me figure out what is here. I have to go there and explain what everything is there. You should be able to write a text. You're going to read it paragraph by paragraph, like in sequence, and then you understand what is in there. Cool. So yeah, I guess it's good. Yeah, it's a fine solution so far. We didn't test multiplication, I think, so it's good to test because let's put here, I remove the breakpoints so we can just test the results. Let's see, 3 and 6 multiply. Oh, sorry, we didn't test even this case. If I run it, that would be a sin if I didn't test 56, 73, and then the operation, I put this. This is the operation. Oh, look. The operation is invalid. So now let's run again and see what happened. 3, 7, and then equals. The operation is invalid. Operate or whatever. So, as you can see, creating a code is like create any text. You're never going to get right in the first attempt. You need to be careful to reread, improve, and try to find what is not clear, what is not good, and of course, test a lot. I'm pretty sure everyone that published a book, there is some tryouts. They write a paragraph, a chapter, ask a friend to read. Oh, tell me what you think is this, is good. I don't think they just write an entire book and put out in the market. There is preparation for that. There is like feedbacks, overview, reviews. There is a process to go there. Cool. So, okay, it's a Saturday. I hope, for me, I hope you're going to watch in another time. So, thank you for watching. God bless you. See you next class. Process to go there. Cool. So, okay, it's a Saturday. I hope, for me, I hope you're going to watch in another time. So, thank you for